Hi guys, and welcome back. In this video I'm showing how I loosened some rusty siezed nuts off this portable trailer hitch. I did this without using any heat, although at times I thought I was going to have to get a torch to heat it up. To get started, you can see the rust that's on this plate. Well, these threads were just as rusty. I used a wire brush to knock the rust off, and it came off fairly easy. Now I'm soaking these nuts with some transmission fluid. I've used this before and it's worked. I don't know how long this hitch was sitting, but the rust on it was pretty heavy. It took me a while to knock it off. I'm going to let this soak for a while, about 15 minutes or so. And now I'm going to soak the other side of the nut. I'm trying to get this oil to penetrate all the way through. After it's soaked for a while, I used this wrench, but I didn't get anywhere with it. Got a little heavier duty, and I went to this pipe wrench. It gave me a little bit more leverage. Still couldn't free it up. Next, I used this rusteater. Now, I dropped this can. I broke off the top. This is material for another video. But for now, I'm just going to use a paper clip. Okay, I'm going to have to do this off camera. But after I soaked it with that rusteater and let it sit for 15 minutes, I was able to free this nut with the pipe wrench. This rusteater is something else. Anyway, when I went to loosen this nut, I couldn't free it up. I put it on the ground so I could get a little extra leverage on it. This should work. I have a lot of weight pressing on this nut, but nothing. It wouldn't budge. No matter how much pressure I put on this nut, it wasn't budging. I'm going to soak this with a little bit more of that rusteater. I'm going to use a few different tools. I'm using a socket, a breaker bar, and a piece of pipe to give a little extra leverage. After it's soaked for a few minutes, I started putting pressure on it again. And I have to tell you, I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on this. There it goes. Now I'm going to turn it back and forth, try and loosen it up all the way, and it doesn't want to budge. Keep in mind, I don't want to strip the nut or that stud, so I'm going to lubricate it a little bit more to help ease it off. The nut did break free, but it's still binding up. I looked at the threads and I don't see any rust that I can knock off or wipe off on it. So now I'm just gonna go back and forth with it until it frees up. Now the first nut was nothing like this. I was able to free it up with that pipe wrench. Finally. Now the threads on the stud are okay, and the threads on the inside of this nut came out alright. So I was able to get both nuts off without using a torch. Use the socket, breaker bar, and a piece of pipe for leverage. Don't forget the pipe wrench in the beginning. Now that rust eater and the transmission fluid turned out to be a real rusty mix. You want to wipe your tools down before you put them away. It is obvious, but sometimes we forget, and this will rust out whatever you leave it on. So I hope you found this video useful, and if so, pass it along. Let me know by giving a like and posting your comments down below. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Until next time, stay safe.